The wedding at Cana.
Ho, ho, ho!
The joyful wedding.
Ho, ho, ho!
In the small village of Cana, the streets were alive with music and laughter. Colorful fabrics decorated the houses, and the aroma of roasted food filled the air. Families, neighbors, and travelers gathered for a wedding feast. Mary, the mother of Jesus, was there among the guests.
Ho, ho, ho!
Jesus himself came with his disciples Peter, John, James, Andrew, and others. This was one of the first times they attended a celebration together. The bride wore a simple but beautiful dress, her eyes shining with joy. The groom proudly welcomed everyone, while children ran around, laughing. The whole village was celebrating, too. The problem:
Ho, ho, ho!
as the night went on, servants hurried between the tables, pouring wine for the guests. At first, everything was smooth. But then, in the kitchen, panic broke out. "The wine jars are empty," whispered one servant. "That can't be," said another. "We had enough for days." But it was true, the wine was gone. The chief steward's face turned pale. "This is a disaster. What will the guests think?
Ho, ho, ho!
The family will be shamed forever." Mary's concern.
Ho, ho, ho!
Mary noticed the servants whispering and saw the worry on their faces. She understood the problem and quietly approached her son. "They have no more wine," she told Jesus with calm faith. Jesus looked at her gently. "Dear woman, why do you involve me? My hour has not yet come." Mary didn't argue.
Ho, ho, ho!
She simply turned to the servants and said with confidence, "Do whatever he tells you." Her faith showed she trusted Jesus completely, even though she didn't yet know how he would act. The stone jars.
Ho, ho, ho!
In the corner of the courtyard stood 6 huge stone jars, used for ceremonial washing. Each one could hold 20 to 30 gallons of water. Jesus pointed to them and said to the servants,
Ho, ho, ho!
"Fill the jars with water." The servants looked puzzled. Water for a wedding feast. But because Mary told them to obey, they hurried and carried bucket after bucket, filling the jars until the water nearly spilled over. The transformation.
Ho, ho, ho!
When the last jar was full, Jesus spoke again. "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet."
Ho, ho, ho!
The servants hesitated. "Give the steward water." But they obeyed. One servant dipped a cup, trembling, and carried it to the steward. The steward lifted the cup, took a sip, and his eyes widened. It was no longer water. It was rich, sweet, perfect wine, the best he had ever tasted. The surprise.
Ho, ho, ho!
As the steward called the groom over.
Ho, ho, ho!
Usually people serve the best wine first, and after guests have had enough, they bring out the cheaper wine. But you, the steward, smiled in amazement. "You have saved the best until now." The groom looked surprised, not knowing where the wine had come from. But the celebration continued with even greater joy. As the new wine flowed freely, most of the guests never knew what had happened. They just enjoyed the feast, laughing and dancing. But the servants, Mary, and the disciples knew. They had seen the empty jars, filled with water, and now overflowing with wine. The disciples looked at Jesus with awe. This was no ordinary man. His glory had been revealed, not with thunder or lightning, but in kindness and quiet power. 8. The lesson.
Ho, ho, ho!
This was the first miracle of Jesus. It showed his compassion. He cared about the joy of a family on their special day. His power, he could transform nature itself. His glory, the disciples believed in him even more deeply. From the day on, the story of Cana was told again and again. How Jesus turned water into wine and saved a wedding feast.
Ho, ho, ho!